Originally from Atlanta, but right now I'm posted up in Austin, Texas.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. So Javi Papi is a producer. He's a producer and DJ. He's known for his high energy sets. He does a lot of like trap and crowd driven performances. A lot of like heavy edits, a lot of heavy songs.
I love
Today
that.
we're gonna talk about growth, reach, your live edits, especially the community, copyright awarenesses, and all that stuff. So that's awesome, man. Super stoked to have you here.
I'm excited to be here. Will we have some time to talk about conspiracy theories?
Maybe we can throw that in there a little later. That's funny.
Oh, that's hilarious. So, all right, so let's kind of talk about what reach, Quacks. What does reach mean to you when you release a song and you think about reach? What stands out to you? What does it mean to you?
Reach, reach really means like what new ears am I getting my songs into, the type of people that new listeners, new people, obviously, retaining older fans as well. But also like networking
fans.
out. Yeah, older fans, all the fans.
I thought you said OnlyFans.
Oh, OnlyFans. Oh
Dropping tracks on
man.
OnlyFans.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, hey, that the reach also works on those platforms too, like Instagram too, for example. Like when you post a track on or like your mix, or when you promo an event, like like when you get reach on that, do you usually get happy with the reach that you get, or do you always want more? Because I feel like I always want more reach on my posts.
You asking me or Quacks?
Both of you.
Yeah, both.
I mean, I always would like more reach. The thing that always gets me is like I'll post something or share something, and then on Instagram you can see the analytics or like the story views, and
Yeah.
they'll be like it'll say like 300, 400, whatever, how fucking a whole goddamn bunch. And then it'll be like 10 likes. And I'm like, so why the fuck are like all these people looking at the shit and there's only like a couple likes? And then the
Right,
same with
absolutely.
stories. The same with stories. It's like however many fucking 30, 40, 50, 60, whatever. And then it's like 3 hearts. And then it'd be like the same goddamn like 20 people look at every single one, but then don't
Yeah.
like shit. So I'm like, I know if more people would actually hit like than Instagram, and like the artificial intelligence overlords would like decide to show it to more people.
Absolutely.
But
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, obviously more reach would be nice.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, I kind of see it kind of in the same way. A lot of people, that you'll get a lot of views. I think one of my posts got like 3,000 views or something like that, and it's only like 30, 40 likes. And I feel like a lot of people don't really just scroll. They just see it and they just keep scrolling. So like it kind of takes a little bit of like eye catchy, eye grabby stuff to kind of have them focus in and like it and repost it. Kind of got to speak to them in a way. Because in other words, like they're just gonna keep scrolling. I kind of get what you're saying.
Yeah, you have to have some kind of hook, right? I mean, like, I don't know if I'm getting all my views from OnlyFans, right? I'm not chopping on my decks with my feet or anything, but you really need a hook to bring people in.
Absolutely.
I feel like it's very important, especially to get more of a reach, I mean, one of the things that I like doing is like I know people are afraid to follow others, but I like to do my research into like different groups and different like circles, right? Like when I moved to Philly, I did some research on all the collectives here, followed some of like the key people, and they would send me to other people, and it just like don't be afraid to DM and expand that reach,
Yeah,
One
get
thing
slide
led
up in the
to another.
DMs.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
It's kind of what me and Javi Papi did the other day. We were at a silent disco event, and we ended up going over to a bar, and we had like a pretty official meeting to try to get
Oh yeah.
some more events going and stuff like that. I'm not gonna mention any details, but it felt pretty professional. It felt pretty nice to actually step out from the like the party scene and go
Yeah.
into the back room and talk business. So that kind of brings us into our talk about you, see how you got started into DJing and what kind of fueled your fire to start performing.
So, what got me into DJing? It's a little bit of a long story. It was when
We're here for it.
I mean, probably my story is similar to others at my age. I'm 34 allegedly, and like,
Allegedly.
allegedly. Nah, because sometimes I'll tell somebody I'm 26 and like, oh yeah, okay, and then sometimes I'll tell people I'm like 43 and they'll be like, oh yeah, and I'm like, God damn.
That's
Like,
crazy.
shit. It's like, but nah, I mean, what, like 14, 15
Hmm.
years old when dubstep, quote unquote, came out and shit, like Skrillex and Flex Pavilion and all that.
Yeah.
Was really into it. And I was like, man, I'd like to DJ and do that kind of stuff because I've always, you know, wanted to do music and life just kind of took me on a different journey.
Yeah.
I feel like I've kind of lived multiple lives, and now I've finally gotten to a point in life where I've worked my way into a position to where I'm afforded the opportunity to actually like pursue DJing and kind of like pursue things that I'm passionate about.
Yeah.
And it was probably in 2023, I got out of the army and I was kind of like at a crossroads in my life because I was, now in my 30s, and I don't know, it was just I'm not really built for a corporate world
Yeah.
where you just go in there into a fucking cubicle and you got a fucking light above you going bzzz, fucking flickering and shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, how can I do what I want to do in life and like be happy, like in any measure of happiness or what I would deem as success. So there's actually a place here in Austin. Because when I got out the army, I was in Texas. And there's this place in Austin called Dub Academy. And they had like classes and just I was like, what's the quickest way to learn the skill set? I'll just go pay somebody to teach me how to do this shit instead of like, fumbling around and bumbling around in my bedroom, like trying to figure it out. I was like, let's get this skill set down. So I did some classes there
Okay.
and yeah, did classes there. I got fairly decent at DJing, and then once I got done with those, I was like, well, I guess the next step is just to fucking get out there and start, kissing hands and shaking babies and shit, networking.
Absolutely, yes, sir. And I'd
And
say you've gotten pretty far in the whole networking genre, well, the networking scene. I mean, there's nobody really that doesn't know who Hobby Poppy is in Austin.
I mean, knock on wood, hopefully for good things. But
Oh man, I think you're a wonderful guy.
well, thank you. I try to be a good person, and
Absolutely.
like, when was it? I mean, it had to be in 2023. So it was interesting enough. Got done with the classes. I was still like quote unquote kind of new to Austin.
Hmm.
Had only been in Austin proper since 2023. And I saw on Facebook actually, there was this thing called the Electronic Dance Music Prosperity Network meetup. And what it was like an accountability group. And that thing kind of flourished into a whole other thing a positive thing that I can get into. But I went to those, met other DJs, producers, and people in the community, and just got the talking and chopping it up. And, one thing led to another and another and another. And then here I am now.
That's
Getting
awesome.
motherfucking interviewed for a podcast. Goddamn.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, I think we're going to talk a little bit more about EDM Prosperity Network as well. Because I'd say you've made some pretty powerful moves with them under your side. Well, with you under their side. And, you played Sound Camp with them and all that fun stuff. So we're going to definitely brush back on that. But you said you took classes when you started DJing and, what pushed you after those classes to kind of take it seriously? Like, were you just like, screw it, I want to go get a show going, I want to go play at a show? Like, what pushed you to go and take that next step?
Well, I mean, there's a couple different things. It was sort of one, I forget what the psychological thing is, but when you like invest and spend money in the shit, you're way more likely to use what you've invested and spent money on. I'm trying to think of like if you hire a personal trainer or fitness trainer, you're more likely to actually like get off your ass and go work out just because like psychologically there's like pain to it for like, oh, I just wasted this money. So some of that was in play, but also it's like, hey, I wanted to do this. I want to see how far I can take it and continue to want to see how far I can take it. Just to like, anything's possible. If other fucking people have done it, there's no reason why I can't do it. I may not,
Well,
uh, I'm not trying to put a limit on myself or anything, but I may not be the next fucking Skrillex, but I can be the next fucking Hobby Poppy and
Hell
still,
yeah.
oh yeah,
get booked for festivals and have
Yeah.
fun and enjoy life. And,
that's
if I
awesome.
make it to a old age, look back and be like, well, damn, like I went for it and I had some success and the shit was fun. It was a blast. It was better than, how some people just rot away and, die not going after what they want. But
Yeah,
it was, yeah,
absolutely.
it was that. And then, hey, it's one foot from the other. So got that shit done. And then I just kept plugging away and, trying to meet people and try to fucking make something out of nothing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Oh man, so kind of want to move on a little bit and talk about like audience growth. Because we want to grow our brand, but we don't want to lose our on oh my god, authenticity. Brain today. Yeah, absolutely. So, like, you don't want to make goofy dances in front of a camera. You want to stand for who you are and
The dancing
represent your brand.
DJs.
Yeah, you don't want to. You don't want to be a TikTok. You might want to be a TikTok DJ, but like I know I don't. I definitely couldn't
Oh
dance in front of
man.
a camera. So like I'm gonna try to not. But how do you
Yeah.
define like reach? I know we talked about reach, but like crowd response and bookings and streams. Do you define reach as the number, or do you define it as for the bookings you get and the response of the crowd when you play that song that really hits? Yeah.
I mean, I guess figure out how I define the reach. Man, I don't even. So are you saying how would I define reach in terms of like the amount of people that show up, or people that are there, or people that are consistent? I don't.
Yeah. Yeah. So like, would you define like how do I rephrase it? Quacks, could you help me rephrase it? I don't think my brain is braining.
Yeah, no, you're good. Reaches in people in general, whether they be fans or not. Now it could also be not necessarily numbers like on a post, but kind of like overall growth as an artist. Like oh, you notice people are starting to listen to your music more. People are starting to come for your sets. Like, I mean, as you progress as a DJ, you're playing bigger and bigger shows. Obviously, you'll still get shows here and there that are just not too many people, but like overall, you see yourself growing and exploring that aspect of reach. Maybe people are recognizing your name more, right? Like because Creature talked to me about what you're doing for the community over there in Texas, and it's great. And it's like people know you by your name, Javi Papi, now, and they see what you're doing, So like talk a little bit about that. How do you define reach for yourself? Is that something that you strive for, or is that just coming with your brand and who you are as a person?
Would say, well, it's kind of like a snowball effect, where it's like it
Mm-hmm.
slowly keeps building and building, where it's easier to approach people about doing shows compared to like a year or two ago. Um, I guess it's just more of kind of having a bigger resume
Okay,
where
yeah,
people feel like they can trust you and your skill set and your talent. Where, hey, when you first starting out, nobody knows who you are. They don't
yeah,
know if you're good. But then as the word gets out and people are like, oh shit, he can DJ. He's not fucking train wrecking. He hasn't got to where he's at.
yeah,
Like he hasn't got to where he's at because he fucking shows up with a bag full of drugs, or he's got like a nice pair of ass and tits. Like he's actually
yeah,
doing it from his skill set and him being a good, dependable, reliable, professional person.
yes,
And that just continues to increase the reach between, oh shit, like at a show, and then I meet somebody who I've never met
Yeah.
before, and they're like, "Oh shit!" Like, "Hey, it's Hobby Poppy," and I'm like, because like low key, I used to, a while back, kind of used to drink a lot, and I'd always like
Hmm.
run into people that I had no fucking clue who they were. They're like, "Oh, what's up, man? What's up?" I'm like, I don't remember you at all. But then since I haven't been drinking for quite a while, just not doing that. When I meet people, I'm like, well, I
Yeah.
know I haven't met you before, so I didn't know you before then, but you knew about me, and I'm starting to see that more often. So I would say that's like the reach increase. Um, and then that just kind of bleeds out to everything
Yeah.
with more social media content, more connections, more people, and just keep that snowball going. If that
Absolutely.
answers the
So
question.
yeah, hell yeah. So you mentioned, in person and, online. So do you have a preference? Do you prioritize online or do you prioritize in person, like reaching out to your fans and networking?
I would say my strength is more in person, just because I'm a little bit of old school, and like I've slowly kind of gotten over, like I just got accepted for what it is with social media. It's like
Mm.
you gotta be out there and like fucking, you ain't gotta be fucking annoying and be like, "Oh, what's this?" Like, got your camera out all the time and shit, and all in people's faces and shit, and doing that. But you still have to be cognizant of like getting
Yeah.
content and having like that social media resume. But my strength is definitely in person, talking to people and building in person relationships. Just because
100%.
it's like sometimes shit don't translate over social media. I may say a joke or do something and people could take it the wrong way, but then if I say it in person, they laugh and they're like, "Oh shit," like they like it, and then one thing leads to another.
You got to be careful online.
Yeah.
You really
So,
do. You really do.
do you do you have any advice for DJs trying to get noticed without like going out constantly and like you said, like going and asking for shows? And I want you to talk about our collective too, the Legacy Collective. And also the EDM Prosperity Network. Anything like that will also be very beneficial for anybody that's starting out, because everybody always thinks it's like, hey, I gotta do this by myself. I gotta do this, but nobody wants to realize that, like, hey, we can do it as a community. We can do it as a group of friends. You don't need to necessarily go and be at each other's throats, because at the end of the day, we're all doing the same thing.
Yes. So let's see, that's kind of like a three-pronged. So the first part of the advice of for people that are not wanting to get out as much, I it's part of the game. You're gonna like life ain't gonna happen on the couch. Like you get like there's plenty of fucking times, plenty of fucking days and nights where I don't want to leave the fucking house. I don't want to fucking talk to nobody. I don't even want to look at anybody. Like,
Yeah.
because I'm, it's some people think I'm like Mr. Charismatic people person, like all this other shit. But then, like, also low key, I'm a little bit of a hermit where I really value my alone time to like recharge.
Absolutely.
But for people getting out there, like, unless you just have something that just really, really makes you stand out online, whatever that is, you're gonna have to get out in person, on your feet, boots on the ground, and go talk to people and go build those relationships. You got to go to shows, support people that you want to support, and make those friendships and get into those communities and be a part of those communities. Yeah, you can do some online, but you not wanting to go out is detrimental to any of your pursuits or goals when it comes to at least DJing. I mean, if you're just like a badass producer, like that is a pathway where if your songs are so undeniable, people are knocking on your door. But for most people, you're gonna have to get out the house. But when it comes to once you get out the house and start building relationships and meeting people, that starts evolving to things bigger than yourself. And at least with me, in my experience, I originally, like I mentioned, the EDM Prosperity Network, they, Sarah Serotonin and Lucas DeLeo, they had started that community a couple of years back. I met a lot of people through that, and continue. I'm actually a board member now with them.
Nice.
But at their meetups, I met my homie Georgie, who y'all know as Natrium. I became friends with him through meeting him at a Prosperity Network meetup, and as our friendship developed, we just became boys, became homies, and he ended up creating the Legacy Collective, which I'm a DJ that's a part of that, and also Creature's a part of it. Subhumane, we got fucking Paint Drop, Andromeda, fucking Dante. There's a whole clique of people.
That's awesome.
If I forget anybody, my bad. But those are the main people that be responding to shit in the group chat. So
absolutely, yeah.
For real, like there might be one or two homies in the fucking lurking in the shadows and shit, but but so he created that, and that's actually, we got a show this Thursday. So I would have never met anybody in the Prosperity Network if I didn't get out the house, and I damn sure wouldn't have met Georgie unless I got out the house. And it's like, if you're trying to make something of this, you got to get out the house and go meet people in real life.
100%.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Get out of the house, everyone. Come on.
Go touch grass. Go touch grass.
Yeah. I mean, you really got to show face as a DJ, right? You got to show your face to promoters. Yeah, go ahead.
And people definitely notice that. I notice it just from, I've got into a position now to where I'm afforded the opportunity to like kind of take notice of those things. And I damn sure notice when motherfuckers only show up because they think they're going to get something out of showing up. Like, oh, where was you at for like the last 5 shows?
Yeah.
But then like you just kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you show up for this one because there might be something in it for you.
Yeah.
Or like, hey, you got booked for this show, or you want to play this show, but I ain't seen you at fucking the last 10 of them that have occurred. So it's like, people do notice that shit.
Yeah.
And so like actually show your authenticity.
Don't bully me. Don't bully me.
No. Your authenticity.
I love you, man.
Show up and like be a real person and actually be like a homie and like support shit without expecting some shit in return. Like go out there and be a vibe and have fun.
Yeah, no, I do want to talk about that a little bit more because it is important to show face and also like just be a good person, like it's you're not always going to get something in return, but also know your limits too, because I'm sure we've all been to that point where we've went to every open deck, every show, talked to every promoter. You don't want to burn yourself out at the same time too, so like definitely show your face, but like also keep an eye on yourself as well,
Definitely got to take care of yourself. Like, everybody knows their own health and all that kind of stuff where you feel yourself getting burnt out. Like you don't have to go to every single one, but if you are going to any, then that's also a problem as well.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I mean, I love what we're talking about, but I want to move on to just for time's sake, move on to some more industry talk. Because I hear you make a lot of edits actually. Talking about hard work, right? You make a lot of edits for your sets. And I want your opinion on this in general, because a lot of festivals and promoters favor like heavy edits or high energy performances using edits, or just edits of popular songs in general or remixes. And what's your opinion on that? Because you're someone who is in the edit game, right? So like, I want your take on the scene when it comes to edits.
Okay, with edits, and then real quick, with time wise, if y'all need to go longer just to get like the whole time, like that's all good with me. So
okay,
no, I'm not like at 4:00 I get off this motherfucking phone call. Like,
okay.
I do have to like around like 4:30 though or something. I do.
Oh yeah, that's fine. Yeah,
that's plenty of time.
We won't be too
be respectful of your time and be respectful of each other's. So it's all it really is.
we can edit out that little segment.
Yeah, I got you.
But yes, but yes, to the question about edits. So like really in my mind when I make edits, when I make a set, I can't even go back to like the way of just you throw the songs and then just play them how they are and try to like cue point them out. It was I would listen to bigger DJs like headliners, people at fucking Lost Lands, everything, Electric Force, all the big shits, and I'd listen to them and I'd recognize the songs they're playing, but then it'd be like, wait, I know the song isn't in the order of how it's being played. And then I just kept thinking, I'm a firm believer in work smarter, not harder. People, they have their own workflow, but with me, like I'm working on the set now for the show on Thursday, and then I made a new set for the show. I did like it was like Angel's birthday party. That one, basically every single fucking song was an edit. And what I do is I go in Record Box. There's a nice little editing feature in Record Box where it's kind of like a half-assed DAW. It's not the complexity of like Ableton, but it has enough to get done what I'm trying to do. But basically, I try to make my job as easy as possible. And there's just certain songs where, say, the second drop, say the last 8 bars of the second drop is just really, really good, but then also the first 8 bars of the first drop is really, really good. So I'll cut it up to where it's the first 8 bars of the first drop, and then it goes into the last 8 bars of the second drop. And then in terms of like song transitions, or say like we'll have song example 1 where it'll have like the 8-bar intro, 8-bar chorus, build, all that kind of shit. What I'll do is I'll just take the second build and then replace the first intro 8 bars with that second build. So it's the second build, then it goes into actually the first 8 bars of the first drop, and then the second 8 bars of the second drop. And then they'll, a lot of songs, it'll like end on like a hit or a down sweep at the end of that second drop. And instead of having it in there, what I'll do is I'll actually take the second breakdown, like the long down sweep that slowly kind of goes to the beginning of a build for the second drop. And I'll put that at the very end, and I'll use that as like to make the transition easier to the next song.
That makes sense. And especially if, I mean, for the audience who might not understand, he's basically building tracks specifically for live sets, building that, tension and that transition point. And I mean, I want to talk more about that because, I mean, that's a performance first workflow, right? You're considering performances and using that as an art kind of like workflow. Is that always your mentality when building these edits, where it's for the live sets and live performances?
Yes, especially when it comes to like dubstep and trap, bro step, like that 140 bass, 140 to 145, 150. Definitely, because I look at it especially with dubstep, it's a performance. Yes, I'm DJing, but it's not house music where I don't need to fucking do like a triple backspin into like a reverb echo into a phase and then fucking all that fucking then DJ like backwards on a handstand and fucking EQ this and that, like all that kind of fucking shit. I'm looking at it literally because in my mind's eye, every time I'm doing something, like I'm making a set, I'm always like visualizing it as if I'm looking out into a fucking crowd of a big ass festival. Like I'm always for a performance. And then in my mind, like, nah, they're not fucking, at the club or something that I'm currently, doing different gigs and places around town. Like no one's shooting out pyrotechnics and fireworks and shit. But in my mind, when I'm making it, I'm like, this is when the fireworks would happen. This is when pyrotechnics, all this kind of stuff. So I build it, I guess, like you said, performance first.
Yeah.
That's how I make them.
I feel like that's important. I feel like a lot of DJs and a lot of producers should be thinking about that when building their tracks, edits, or even originals, you know? Because, like, I feel like there's a lot of more mainstream DJs that keep that in mind, especially because they're also dealing with the visuals and the pyrotechnics and the lasers, you know? Like they all have that in the back of their mind when building for their sets, right? I mean, I don't know how intentional it was for like Ray Volp to make lasers, but I mean that's a prime example, right? Like that's one visual that's obviously a no-brainer that would be used for that song. But yeah, it's I feel like it's really important, especially to yeah. Go ahead.
No, it's very. I think it's very important,
Hmm.
and it makes the most sense to me. I always try to take out all the guesswork of what I'm doing. I don't ever want to be up there and not
Yeah.
know the next thing I'm about to do. I don't ever want there to be like fucking 10 seconds left of the fucking track and I'm like, oh fuck, what do I do? Doing like
No, that
I'm
makes
just
sense. Yeah.
sitting there looking fucking crazy and not and the song runs out. So it's like I always
Yeah.
it's like chess pieces. Fucking I know exactly what's the next thing I'm going to do.
That
And
makes
then it
sense.
really comes down to like song selection, making sure you got nothing but fucking heaters and bangers, and then try
Yeah.
to give them a little bit of breathing room here and there. And I'm still kind of experimenting with, do I just keep, punching them in the face, or do I just let
Yeah.
them breathe a little here and there? But yeah,
Yeah, no, I like that you've, you know, brought that up because it's not necessarily one emotion throughout your set, you know. You want to switch it up because if it's all bangers the entire set, I mean there's no other high point, right? It's all stagnant. Or, you know, you got to let them breathe a little bit. It's important to switch it up in the set, keep things interesting. Um but I
wait, are
mean,
you saying people don't want to hear rhythm for an hour straight?
yeah, no. People don't want a high knee an hour straight. I mean, unless they're, you know, at the gym or something. But no. Imagine chopping for an hour straight, man. I could not do that.
Well, that was low key because I don't really play rhythm. I just
Yeah,
play
yeah.
roach up and trap and throw in a good fair amount of tear out. It was a joke.
That's crazy. No, I mean some DJs do that. Don't get me wrong, you know. They could do as they wish. You'll never catch me doing that, but like, yeah, no, I completely understand, you know. I also like that, you know, you were also talking about you using Record Box. Pretty simple kind of like arrangement to be able to put tracks together. You said that it's like a simple Ableton, right? Like you don't need that many tools to be able to make your edits as good as they are too, right? Because like anyone could be doing this. It just takes a little bit of practice. But is there any
And
other tools that you
it
use?
is well for the record, just for the way I make a set, real quick.
Yeah,
It is fucking time consuming.
yeah,
Like the the show Thursday, I found out I was doing it last night, and it's like this shit say is gonna take at least a solid 8 hours of sitting here going through
yeah,
chopping the song, then playing like the next one and figuring out, I think maybe I need to cut 8 bars here,
yeah,
do this here, swap this out, and then play the next song. And it's just a repeating process. So I see why some people don't do it because it takes a long time. I've gotten faster just from doing it so much to where I kind of just instinctively know where I don't even have
yeah,
to listen to it. I can just look at it and be like, I'm going to delete those 8 bars right there just because I can tell by looking at it that I don't need those.
yeah,
So it is very time consuming, but really, in terms of right now making the edits, I'm just
yeah,
doing it in Record Box. I am an appropriate amount of time will go to Ableton to just experiment with putting certain effects on at
yeah,
points where I know that I'm going to transition just to make it even easier while I'm DJing. Because because there's some things I'll have in my head where it's like I need an extra hand or two.
Yeah.
Well, I want to do like we'll just say example. I want to do bit crush out with a chorus or like a phaser out, but then also have like the reverb and echo going at the same time as like a low pass, and you just physically can't do that with two arms.
Yeah.
On a traditional mixer.
Yeah, no, that's a great point of why, edits could be important, especially to do more technical things in general. And I mean, ultimately you're creating like your own sound design with these popular songs as well. So I mean, it's important. And you talked about bringing it into Ableton. Do you have the newest Ableton? Have you used like the stem separators at all?
Hold on, what's Ableton?
Oh, what's Ableton? That's crazy.
No, yeah, I'm fucking around with, like the stem separator, like trying to like take vocals out of like old ass songs and trying to mess around with it.
Yeah.
But I mean, definitely like as my production gets better, I could probably start making like for real, true custom edits instead of kind of like rearrangements, because that's kind of really what it is at this point, is rearrangements where, hey, I take the vocals out from this track and put it here.
Yeah.
And then I was talking to Creature about this, is like developing where sort of like fake drops that completely go into a different buildup of a different song, and then that buildup ends on a completely different drop of a different song. So it's damn near technically three tracks in one sort of 3-minute period.
That's awesome. No, I mean, I know Rekordbox has a stem separator, so does like Serato. I've been using Ableton stem separator lately since the new update of like 12.3 or something. It's been great. I've been enjoying it. But I also have another question of what makes a good performance edit, right? You talked about making and chaining edits with buildups and fake drops, but why does the edit hit for you but maybe not for someone else?
Do you mean like why I like an edit, or why sometimes I don't see it translate to the crowd? Or
yeah, why does a edit might work for your set, but it might not work for someone else who made their own edit?
Ooh, like they try to use my edit in their set kind of deal?
Not necessarily. It could be either using your edit or just making their own, right? Like what's the sauce behind like the edits to keep a good performance?
It's almost like it's sort of like song selection, where within the song itself, you want what is objectively kind of like the best parts, because there's plenty of like, you want the best parts. If say you only have 1 minute and 30 seconds to display this one particular song, you're going to want to carve out all the shit that you don't like and doesn't sound good, or because sometimes there'll be good songs with good drops, and the first 8 bars is really, really good, and then they don't even have like a second drop, but we'll just say like the first 8 bars are really good, and then it goes into like, I don't know, some like kind of weird other shit where you're just like listening to it, you're like, why did they like go from a good like 148 bars kind of dubstep drop into the last 8 bars is like techno, kind of like doof, doof, doof. I was like, man, I wouldn't. And you're like, hey, I'm just not gonna use that part.
No, that makes sense.
What was the question again? Hold on.
Well,
why would it not work for other people?
Yeah,
you just gotta make it work. You gotta make it work for yourself, and put songs that that you have, like figure out how to retool it for the way you have your playlist laid out.
I feel like this could also lead into the discussion of reading the crowd as well, right? Because that's one of the most important jobs of a DJ, is being able to look at the crowd, understand like what's hitting with them and what's not, right? Because like if a song's just not doing well, you gotta get out of there, right? You gotta go to another song. Like I being able to recognize and read the crowd is very important. And I mean, that could also help with the great performance, right? I mean, with picking songs and maybe one not hitting over the other, how do you organize your edits? Is there a specific way while you're playing a set that you have your edits ready? So you're like, oh, I'm not going to use this one. I'm moving on to the next one, or how do you have it on your record box?
Yes, okay, I get what you're saying. So I look at it kind of like a train track where I generally know the
Mm-hmm.
next piece that's coming up. But say, and also you got to know what songs are in your set. So you got to know them pretty damn well. Where when one's starting, you already know what the next one is going to be. And
Yeah.
say you play something, say for instance, you're doing kind of like a heavy bass tear out show, and then you're progressing along your train track, and you drop like a very heavy, not even heavy, but like really,
Yeah.
really kind of trap song where it's more trappy than anything else. And you kind of see like the crowd die off a little bit, or
Mm-hmm.
like maybe some people like walk off to the bar, just like you just can see and feel that the crowd ain't feeling it.
Yeah.
And then you know what
So
your
that
next two,
change.
you know what your next next
Yeah.
2 or 3 songs are, and you're like, well, fuck, I know the next 2 or 3 songs are kind of this same vibe of trap. I need to skip these next 3 songs and then go to the next one that brings
Yeah.
the energy back up, where maybe it's like a tear out track, a really, really heavy bass. But in order to be able to have that interchangeability within it, within my set and the playlist, is when I'm making my edits, generally, not every single
Yeah.
one, but it's about we'll say 8 bars, maybe 16 of transition space, or where I can, mix in or whatever. And then it's 8 bars of build up and then 16 bars of drop. And then if there's like a good second drop that's unique, then it's usually like 8 bar build up into the 16 bar drop. And then the outro or the exit point is generally about 8 bars, maybe 16. So fuck, I guess a simpler way to do it is like I edit the tracks where it's almost like trying to mix a house song, where
Yeah.
every single one, I know at the end I'm gonna have 8 bars to get out of it, and I have at least 8 bars to get out and at least 8 bars to get in. And then if some shit ain't working and I know the next couple
Yeah.
songs aren't gonna work, I'll just go down to the next one that I know is appropriate, and I'll just use that 8 bar, 16 bar transition point on the current song and get out of it. I don't ever like if shit's just not working on a song, I don't ever
Yeah.
do like a backspin and just turn the music off and then slam in the next track. I
Yeah.
try to keep it cohesive and at least flowing smoothly.
Yeah, yeah. And for the audience who might not know as much, within the EDM community and DJs, there's actually a lot of prep work a lot of people go into for their sets. I mean, there's tons. I mean, you said you're working on tons of edits for your next show, so it's like people putting in a lot of effort, people putting in a lot of effort, ordering everything, making those edits. It's a lot of hours just for a set, right? So like we're putting in effort. Javi Papi obviously putting in tons of effort for his edits and his live performance, which is
Man,
amazing to hear.
what's
What?
crazy though is like sometimes I'll see other people play, and it's the wildest thing to me to see people just like straight raw dog their sets, where they got 60 tracks, though none of them got fucking cue points on
Yeah,
them. The beat grid is off, and just all this other. I'm like, I don't know how I wouldn't be able to do it unless I just knew every single song by
yeah.
heart. That's just you'll see that shit, but yeah, it's wild shit.
Yeah, you look over their shoulder and they're DJing a beat that's like 139.37 BPM.
Yeah, no,
The
it's
grade
it's
isn't even
insane.
on the cake.
Yeah, they're fucking like,
Oh,
what's a beat grid? Like, oh, damn. All right.
That makes sense. I mean, it's not something a lot of people talk about. Obviously, those people who, what's a beat grid? There are some fundamentals to learn. I think we've talked about it in some other episodes where it's like it's really important to know the fundamentals of like beat matching by ear, right? It's really hard to do, but like when you get it down, it's important because you never know what you're playing on, and we've talked about it in previous episodes. You can have some terrible gear. You never know. You never know what the promoters are going to hit you with. Um, but just for time's sake, we're going to continue because I want to talk about your understanding of copyright for edits and playing them live or putting them online. What's your take on it? Because obviously, with edits, you are using other people's songs. Do you credit them at all, or like, I mean, the edit community? There's so many edits, and everyone downloads all of them. So, what's your take on like the edits you create, songs that you've used? Your opinion on it?
Well, with the edits I make, the only time I actually put them online is if they're recorded into a mix and then I put the mix online. I don't ever just put the edits I create as individual files on like SoundCloud
Yeah,
or shit like that. If I got homies or something that are like, hey, fucking bless me with some edits, like I'll send them like a Dropbox or some shit if they ask, but I don't
yeah,
actually put my edits, like the individual edits online for people to get at their, but I do, if I post a mix,
yeah,
on SoundCloud, those definitely have a majority of edits in them. But I mean, with I mean, I probably should do it where the sets I make and put online, like the mixes, I should probably make like a track list for them. But, I
yeah,
don't really worry too much about copyright in terms
yeah.
of that. And I'm not,
I mean, I know a lot of DJs are pretty generous, and they'll send tracks out to people, stuff that they've made or edits or originals. The community is pretty generous when it comes to that. But I mean, is there any specific rules that you live by, kind of like as an artist or someone who makes tons of edits and plays live sets constantly?
and like what terms,
Like terms of just rules that you live by while going out as an artist, right? Like to other people, for promoters, for the clubs, right? Because I mean, for me, one rule, I try to take my sets very seriously. Like I won't drink before my set or anything. Because if I mess up during the set, I feel like that's on me for the performance, for the audience, right? But like, everyone's got those rules being an artist. Like I'm curious, do you have one while you're out performing, doing a show, or just out networking?
yeah, I mean, obviously it's the golden rule, treat people how you want to be treated. I try to be, as nice as I can be to people and also be as professional as I can be.
Yeah.
When it comes to especially just sticking to, we'll say, performance, definitely uh, not, don't ever go DJ at a venue or a professional setting. Like be a first and foremost, be a professional because it's a business.
Yeah.
And like, don't be up on the decks like fucking about to pass out from ketamine or fucking
Yeah.
like throwing up on the floor or shit like that, or like putting the
Yeah.
equipment at risk from you, like you drunk and you're spilling your fucking codeine scissor and shit or
Yeah.
whatever the fuck. Don't be on stage smoking fentanyl. Just like it's like common, it's like common, it's like
Yeah.
common sense shit that a lot of people
Yeah.
don't have and don't know how to be professional. And then when people don't behave professionally, it just
Yeah.
kind of continues that stereotype of, oh, DJs are just like,
Yeah.
fucking whatever, like drug addicts or drunkards and shit like that, and they're
Yeah.
unprofessional. Like you fucking up the game for everybody else. And
I
that's kind
agree
of my
with you.
rule is
Yeah.
be professional first, be nice to people, and then with networking, the same thing. Just be
Yeah.
nice. Don't ever like be man, it's crazy. Like just try to be a good person and don't try to use people and and just have that gimme energy, or that, like, that's the best way I can explain it. And like kind of another sort of like, I guess, another rule, one thing I do, because obviously, there's always going to be clout chasers and, fake ass motherfuckers in the scene, and, all those, fucking those kind of people. And one thing that I do in terms of networking and just in life, period, but I see it most often in, the nightlife scene, is if I meet somebody,
Yeah.
whether just friendly or professional, like if they're quote unquote in the industry, I meet them, get introduced to them. I'll do my best to remember their name. But what I do is I give it 3 times. Is I see this person, whoever the fuck it may be, whether it's a DJ, a promoter, whoever the fuck they think they are. The first 3 times when I get introduced to them, and they're cool, I'll see them. I'm like, hey, what up, such and such, XYZ, whatever your name is. I'll do that 3 times. I'm like, hey, what's good? Hey, good to see you. Second time, hey, there you, like, I'll go up to them and make the effort to say hi to them. And I'll do it 3 times. And
Yeah.
then after the third time, what I'll do is I'll let them do something. Like, I'll say hi for the 3 times in different occasions, and then if I see this person again and we make eye contact, or clearly, because I fucking stand out. Like, I'm like,
Yeah.
I can be in the cut, but also like you notice when I'm there. So if after the third time this person looks at me and then like doesn't say shit or act like they don't know me or don't say hi to me or anything like that,
Yeah.
I'm like, bam. I'm like, okay, so you're one of those people.
Yeah.
Like, okay,
Yeah.
you're getting put on the fucking hex list.
Yeah.
Okay, I've already filed you away in my brain now. And
Yeah.
that's kind of, it's worked out pretty far. The people that are fake or clout chasing, they usually, that's how they give themselves up, is on that like third time, and they never say shit. Or what it is, I've seen also now, for better or for worse, there'll be people who, well, I guess it'd be technically the fourth time, they don't ever say shit to me. They don't say hi, how you doing? Like, hey, good to see you again. But then at a later time, depending on who I'm standing around, if they think it would benefit them to be friendly to me, then they'll act like I fucking exist, or they'll acknowledge me, or, like,
Yeah.
hey, oh, you're in the fucking green room and you're not in this
Yeah.
fucking show. You're like, you're not on the show. So why, like, it, like, then they'll say something and be like, oh, hey, what's up, Poppy? Hey, how's it going? I'm like, okay, yeah, now you say something, because you
That's
see who
fake.
I'm standing
Yeah.
around or who I'm fucking
Yeah.
kicking it with. Like, you see, like, you're trying to walk up in the player circle,
Yeah.
and you think that being friendly now is gonna like give you some sort of benefit with me, but you've already been filed away. But that's
Yeah.
kind of one of the things. But now watch, that motherfucker's going to keep saying hi now and spilt the sauce instead of like,
Yeah. Yeah. No, that makes
in my
sense.
head.
It's really fake. I mean, that's something to talk about too, because for anyone who is starting out, be careful. You never know who. Obviously, one of our biggest themes is be nice to people. It's why we always say it all the time. But there are some nasty people out there, right? And people that are only there for themselves. And it's. I mean, there's a lot of great people out there, and people trying to help you out. Yeah, just be open to people, but at the same time, be careful. Especially starting out, be careful who you trust, especially with your brand and what you do. And Javi Papi's, has that good example, of just, it comes to even just saying hi to people, like we're all here trying to be artists, and doing our thing, working on our brand, and there's no reason for hate or any people being fake. It's really important to be nice to each other, and bring up the rave EDM community, and and be plur at the end of the day. And I mean that's one of the things that we want to promote with this podcast. And I mean that's just a great example to bring up, that even though we're promoting for this, it still does happen. The world is the way it is.
Yeah.
And I like that you did bring up to that. But we are running out of time. We have a little bit of time left, so I want to ask you if there's any plur moments at the end of the day that you have experienced. Maybe good crowd energy, anything memorable moments that you've had at a set. To end it off on like a good note. Any lasting memories that you've had?
Let's see. Well, I mean, it's obviously it's always nice when somebody you haven't met before, like it's like, damn, like fucking I love that set. Like what's your Instagram? Where you're like, okay, cool. I just turned, just put somebody on to, the shit that I be doing. So all those moments from different people where I haven't met them before, but then I meet them and then I see them again at the next show and they're like, shit, I wanted to see Hobby Poppy.
Yeah,
Those are nice, nice plur moments.
That was
that's
actually us.
awesome.
That's how we met
Yeah.
Hobby Poppy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's really those are the the plur moments or other good plur moments for me is where I meet somebody or I know somebody and I have an opportunity to give them a shot at doing what they love doing, or like maybe they don't have as many chances the DJ as other people, but I know they're good people, and then I'm able to get them to a point where they can play and they get to play out, and they're like, "Fuck yes, thank you so much! Like this was a blast! Like I appreciate you hooking that up." I'm like, "Hey, I know how it feels, and I want other people to feel that way." And if you're you're a good person, so that's why I did that.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
But yeah, those are plur moments.
Okay,
Hell
okay.
yeah. So I have one more question for you, just one more. And what are some ways that artists can support each other instead of, being in a constant competition with each other? You can, kind of see how we've been kind of doing it with the Legacy Collective, like we're all here to play the game together. What are your opinions about that?
I would say, with fellow DJs, artists, and producers, they know what helps them out. So do that to help others out, whether that's like share flyers, actually like stories, repost stuff, or,
And those are
I
all
ain't
free
got-
things, by the way. Free things.
it's
Yeah.
all, or tell people about them, or if it's like somebody's got a show going on. I've done this before where I know I'm not even gonna be able to go to the fucking show, but I still buy a ticket because if my homies are playing, I'm like, I'll still buy a ticket, and like I'm not even in town, so I just buy a ticket, so at least they have one more ticket sell to show whoever they're working for, the promoter. So it's little things, sharing on social media, like I ain't never scared to share a fucking flyer just because my name's not on it or I'm not performing. Like you
Right.
quit.
Like it doesn't hurt your brand. Like, it's
Yeah.
so simple to go and support.
Most support is free, and most actions
Mhm.
to support are free. Or fucking, go to a show and even if you don't drink, go buy like a couple
Yeah.
drinks or some fucking Red Bull so that they see more bar sales
Yeah.
for that show for whoever the promoter is. Just it's really it's little things. It's the little things that matter and the little things that add up and help your fellow artist.
Yeah, definitely in the underground.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, alrighty. So we are kind of out of time. We've been chopping it up for, a very decent minute. We got to keep it within that time frame so Spotify doesn't get mad at us. So okay, all right. So we've covered, reach, we've covered edits, copyright, industry stuff. Now we're gonna let Javi Poppy speak to us with a mix. We're gonna hear
Yep.
full live mix from Javi Poppy on YouTube. Stay filthy. It will be tied in to our socials. Stay tuned.
Whoa.